talking about the vital role that both men and women play in the creative industries, while focusing on women's role in the creative industry and gaming industry specifically. So let's start with mentioning one strength for each, men and women. I'll start with men. Men, they demonstrate high analytical skills, which is very important for problem solving and strategic planning, while women, they excel in emotional intelligence, in which make them reach audiences on a deeper level. So now let's focus about diversity and talk about why diversity matters. Diversity is not just a buzzword. So we see and hear in conferences, they talk about diversity. It's not from an empathy perspective, but it has power in the creative form, and specifically in the gaming industry. So it's important to engage broader audiences, and it enhances emotional impact and reflects real-world diversity. So we as a human beings, whenever we play a game or see a content that we relate to, it grabs our attention. Even in fantasy, for example, genre, we have to relate to a specific aspect of the content in order to keep the interest going in that content. So there is a game called Fort Solis. It was made in Unreal Engine. In a bit we'll see its trailer. The power of this game, that the developers, they used various characters, personalities, and backgrounds. And this is what made this game reach a broader audience. Can we please see the trailer?
Jack Leary, senior engineer en route to Fort Solis, in the Planum Quadrant, responding to an alarm. Suspected power failure, await further information.
Recording submitted. Is there no sign of security?
No.
I think the man's got an incident here.
What the hell is going on, Jack? You need to leave and let Central handle it.
So as mentioned, this game has diverse characters that make the game appeal and reach a broader audience. Now we'll move to Unreal Engine as a tool for diverse voices. So Unreal Engine is a canvas for diverse voices. So anybody with regards from their background, they have access to this tool, and it empowers authentic storytelling and supports inclusive character creation. A game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is an example of how powerful storytelling is when diverse voices are represented. Now we'll see the trailer of Hellblade, please.
You searched for control. That's perfect. When you were in love, you left him in tears to smother your furies and banish your fears. But the darkness became through storms like seas, they make these shoes. Do you still hear his screams? so far away. They've taken his soul. To these worlds they can break you, but nothing else. Even death won't keep you apart. Through his darkness and the fire, your sword still has our heart. We fought for love and spirit, by the darkness within. You fought for your dreams. Now there's no way to win. In the head of his corpse lies the seat of his soul. So you must learn his lesson to bring him back home.
Yeah, so this is the trailer. This was the trailer of Hellblade. And it has sort of it's based on a female character that is, that follows her struggles psychologically. And it got really major feedback globally with a broad audience. So now we have a spotlight on women's role in building inclusive narratives. As stated, woman has emotional intelligence, and using this in the creative teams specifically can have an impact on the game production itself. We're not talking about dismissing the men's role, because there are strengths for men by nature and women by nature. And if we are clever enough to combine the strength of both into the creative form, we will have such an appealing production, game production, that will reach really broad audiences. So women, they bring unique perspectives, and they lead women-driven narratives. Like there is an example of Gone Home. It's a game that was executed purely by women. It talks about family and identity, and it really did well on the global level. Crafting authenticity tools and technique. To craft authentic content, we can utilize Unreal Engine MetaHuman Creator to create realistic characters in across various content and genres and cultures. We can create characters from the Middle East, we can create characters from Asia, we can create characters from the US, whatever look we have. And even we can get realism into emotions. As we saw in the trailer, we can relate to the characters because we're seeing something real. Okay? Another aspect is environment storytelling, which is very important because the players need to see something that they can relate to get that interest. We have to see, and in this aspect, the environmental storytelling, we can create environments go into architecture or props or whatever that relates to a specific culture or era, even if it's fantasy. So it's good to utilize the Unreal Engine capabilities in order to use this kind of diverse approaches to create that content. So can we see the trailer of MetaHuman, please?
I could be one of many.
主人公になってなれる。
Je pourrais être architecte.
Ou guide.
Quizá un artista. You create the narrative. I am MetaHuman.
So now we have access for the metahuman, and it's updated, and we can create diverse characters within our game and content. Challenges and solutions. When we talk about challenge, we have to tackle it with a solution. So for women in Unreal development specifically, despite the advancements we are seeing in the industry, women still face technical and social barriers. So in Unreal Engine specifically, we tackle this through mentorship and education and giving support for women to excel their career in game development. So the mentorship and community support, we see it very effective to build a portfolio for women to start their own businesses or to join current teams. And from what we have so far, we're seeing very success stories on the MENA region and the global level as well. The future of diverse narratives in Unreal. The future of Unreal Engine is promising. So we are expanding beyond traditional storytelling. We are getting in more diverse voices into creating game content, and it's not just from perspective of supporting individual developer, but from a perspective of having more diverse voices using the tool and succeeding in their games. Call to action, join the movement. So basically I encourage you all to encourage diverse voices in your team, okay, and advocate for diversity in your work. So, and for sure to mentor new talents, to mentor and uplift new talents in order so we have a base of more diverse voices and more creative work in the industry to reach more audiences globally. So this is a showreel of students in 2024. They learned, and they are beginners, and they executed games this is from across the globe. Can we please play the video? So we can see even students on a beginner level can create in using the tool of Unreal Engine 5. So it's only how to use our creativity into creating this and using diversity into creating a business out of it in the industry and in a specific region. So thank you very much. Thank you, Hit Games, for hosting this inspiring event, and thank you all for attending. And if you have any specific questions that does not relate to the topic we talked, you can please email me directly. And if you have a question that relates to the topic, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Obviously, this was about diversity. How you and the Epic team find the challenges of a lot of the social media influencers who are against diversity in gaming or different stories, because there's a lot of them and they've got loud voices, even though there may be a few of them. So how do you guys overcome that at the moment?
Very, very important question. Thank you for the question. Actually, with regards to diversity, what we focus on is diversity that does not offend a specific culture. So, for example, we talk about diversity, let's say in the Middle East. We're in the Middle East right now. We cannot, for example, tackle diversity from a perspective that is in other countries that they feel it diversity and then bring this topic into the Middle East and say this is diversity, because it will get a fire back from cultural perspective. We have to adapt to the actual, let's say, cultures when we talk about diversity. And when used right, you'll have an impressive content in the end out of it. Yeah, and especially we're talking about that we're having a really nice impact in the Middle East from women perspective. We're seeing more women gamers in the industry. We're seeing more women in business. We're seeing more women into teams in which the strength it's being used, and it will keep developing further.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra, how do we, maybe everyone can hear me, I probably don't need that. How do we go about finding women Unreal developers, or where's the source for us to be able to tap into that skill set?
Nice question. There are chapters, if you go unrealengine.com/communities, there are various chapters for our Unreal Engine for most of the MENA region countries, let's say. You can contact the chapter lead and you can ask for portfolios and they will send you.
How do you balance recruiting a person not just for a diversity spot? How do you balance a person being worthy of that spot and not just hiring them for the sake of, I have, let's say, 50 women on the team?
Very nice question, because you want to know the skill. You can't hire, for example, just from perspective of hiring women. You need to see the capability of a woman and then taking the skill of that balance. Let's say, for example, you're creating a game, okay? You can say, if you have an aim for a game like, for example, Home Alone, okay, you want, for example, 100% women-based women creators for certain kind of messages that you want to spread, you can do it, okay? But still you want to see their portfolios. You can't, for example, hire a woman for the sake of just getting a woman on board for diversity perspective and not getting her efficient, yeah?
So the standard would be the same, it's just, they just happen to be a woman.
Yeah, so the first thing, you need to build your portfolio. You need to prove yourself. Once you have a portfolio, you'll get it done.
How does the recruitment process is like? For example, I'm working on my final capstone project in university in animation. I'm very interested in this program. How can I get into it?
The first step is to start learning it. It's very easy. Once you start your first foundation, there are tons of online courses that you can enroll and you can start building, even while it's project-based. You can learn and do your project at the same time, or you can build your portfolio to show to the companies. So the first is learning the tool and not just learning and stopping, because for example, Unreal Engine, we have versions, okay? Each time a new feature comes out, okay? So we need to be up to date. So keep learning and doing, and you'll reach there. Yeah, okay. Any other question? Thank you very much. Thank you all.